guys, we have with us BJ Ayodele today. He made over $8 million in net profit day trading stocks in the last 3 years alone. BJ, it's so great to have you. How did you do this well so fast?
Honestly, man, first of all, I always like to give thanks to God. I think that's the most important thing. I think we take a lot of credit for the things that we do. And number one, I always give thanks to God. Number two, I think it's just more personality. Like I wasn't into a lot of the things that a lot of 19-year-olds at the time kind of were into. I'm 31 now, but I'm going to give you the background of my story, how I got here, right? Um, I was 19 years old and I was a gamer at the time. I did a lot of filming, like short films, kind of like what YouTube kind of blew up to be. I mean, if I kept doing it now, I probably would be a big YouTube star. But I was doing a little short films, little skits here and there. And I was gaming at the time. Me and my cousin would play Halo crazy. And all of a sudden, firmware came out for Xbox. And then now you can play burnt games. So I met this guy and he was like, hey, man, you're a really smart guy. I want to make you my young protege. But I met him from the gaming, from flashing the firmware from the Xbox drives to then go
I
ahead
used to
and
do some
start
of that stuff.
uh,
Yeah, dude, back in
playing burnt
like, I don't know,
games.
it was like early like 2010 or something. You could like download them on a disc or something and make the disc and put it in there. So I remember
Right,
doing crap like that back a long, long time ago.
right. Exactly. So this guy was kind of doing it as a business, and he met me, and he was like, "Hey, man, you're a smart guy." I was young at the time. He said, "You should look into trading, stock trading, penny
Nice.
stocks." And I was like, "Man, I don't know
Was
nothing
that
about
Jordan
penny
Belfort?
stocks."
Didn't he used to do that?
And he was like, "Yeah, Jordan
Wow.
Belfort did that." So he said, "You should learn to trade penny stocks." So penny stocks are stocks that kind of go from like $5 and below. So yeah, small caps, which is kind of like the Russell 2000, which is the IWM, which is kind of was down like 20%. But I won't go too far. That's too far. But yeah, penny stocks, small caps. He was telling me to look into those things, and I was like, all right, I don't know too much of those things. I had an iPhone. I saw, iPhone was like the first phone that actually had like a stock
Whoa.
watch list at the time. So I was like, oh, there's a little watch list on here. Let me just add a couple of stocks. I didn't know what to add, but it just kept ringing in my mind. He kept saying, hey man, you should look into trading stocks. You should trade stocks. So I'm gaming. I'm at home. My father was a smoker at the time. So I was like, man, vapes was now getting popular. I was like, oh wow, e-cigarette. Maybe this is the chance that I can help my dad finally break, the cigarette and maybe go into something that might be healthier. Obviously, now there's so much study showing that e-cigarettes are just as dangerous. But I was like, all right, let me look into vaping stocks. So stocks that have like
So
that are
you
vapes,
tried to look
like
to something that was like personal to you that you cared about.
right. So that's the only thing that I could think of at the time. I was like, man, e-cigarettes is new. It's a new industry. Let me look into it just because, it could be something big,
And
right?
you were right,
This
man.
is
You were right. It's fucking
groundbreaking. Like,
huge.
right. So I made a watch list. I started looking at a couple stocks, and believe it or not, some of these stocks were like 10
Damn.
cents, 40
Could you name
cents,
one?
50
What
cents.
stock? Like do you
So I just made
remember?
a watch list. I can't
Like
remember
Jewel?
because it
Like
was so
Jewel?
long
Did
ago,
you invest in
2019.
Jewel?
No, no, I didn't invest in Jewel. I didn't invest in Jewel. I really wish I could remember. I
That's cool.
can't
That's
remember
cool.
at the time because some of
Yeah.
these companies don't exist. One thing with small caps, sometimes a lot of these companies don't have funding and they end up
Oh,
bankrupting, or they get reverse
yeah.
mergers and then the stock symbol changes. So I really can't remember. I've traded over hundreds and hundreds of
Damn.
stocks at this point. But one thing that I can tell you is that these stocks were like 50, 40, some of them were 10, 20 cents, some of them even were
Damn.
1, 2 cents. I made a watch list. I set it and forgot about it. I went on Google, found these whole bunch of e-cigarette vape companies, set it and forget it. I then went and started lifting weights. I was at my cousin's house. He
But you,
just bought a
but
gym
you
set.
invested
I'm
cash
lifting.
into these, right? Like a watch list means you invested?
No, no,
No.
no. I just made a watch list of a
Oh.
list of stocks.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't even
Okay.
put money into it. I just said, let me follow it because I don't
Oh,
know anything
before you
about stocks.
invested. So that's smart too. Do your research, your
Hmm.
homework first.
Before I invested. Yeah. So I started a watch list. I then went, this is probably a couple months later. I'm at my cousin's house. We're bench pressing. He got this new bench. We're killing it. And then I sat up. I said, man, let me check this watch list that I made. Some of these stocks were like $5, like $6, 250. Stocks that were 50 cents, 40 cents, 2 cents to 35 cents. Now I'm like, whoa, I did the math and I'm like, wow, if I put this amount of money, this is how
Ooh.
much I would have made. then I was like, oh wow, I'm pretty much done. Like I just took some of my scholarship money that I was going to college with, put in about like two, three
Damn.
grand in there,
You risked it,
and
man.
then I just started trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I risked it. I just started. I just started trading, and I knew nothing about trading at the time. I ended up creating a watch list. I saw it. I was bench pressing at my cousin's house. We were lifting weights. I'm like, man, let me see what's going on. I checked the stocks. All of them were up. Some were up $5. Some of them were up $4. Some of them went from 1 cent to 21 cent, 1 cent to 35 cents. SPLI was one of them. It probably doesn't exist anymore. I remember that stock very closely. And then after that, I was just like, man, let me take some of my scholarship money and maybe see if I can start investing in this e-cigarette company, these vape stocks, because they were going to be big. I thought e-cigarettes would take over the world. I thought maybe some of these companies will go $5 to $50 because the majority of the tobacco stocks are up already huge. Um, After that, ended up taking $2,000. I brought it up to like
Damn. And
thirty
you were how
thousand.
old at this point? You were like 20 years
Right.
old?
At this point, I was about. This has had to be about 2014 when I
So yeah,
officially
about 21
started.
or so, give or take.
Um,
Wow. Damn, as a
21.
21-year-old
So
kid,
yeah,
you
give
put
or
two
take.
grand in and you got up to 30 grand.
Yeah.
And how many like weeks did that take you to do that?
Believe it or not, it didn't take me long. I probably made it
A
in maybe
month. So
like a
4
month.
weeks, you made about what, $28,000? Shit.
Yeah. But the issue is that what I'll say is this is that I don't take credit. I like it was like I did
What?
it with skill. I would say it was
No,
more luck.
honestly,
Like I
man,
just
no.
bought
No,
something that
that
looked
was
like it was
you,
going.
man. That was nah, hell's
You
no,
don't think
hell's no.
so?
You did your research, right? You did your homework. You were
Yeah.
looking into like different things that you thought would pop, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna randomly take a
Mm-hmm.
spinning wheel and then just click up, invest in the one that it falls on. Nah, man, you did that like from doing homework and research. So I don't believe that, man. I think you did it. That's your skill.
Right. Yeah, so I ended up taking off with that, and then believe it or not, I
Oh
ended up
shit.
losing everything. Right, I ended up going from 30,000
Damn.
back to two.
How did that happen?
That's why I
So
was like,
lesson for
man.
people, like what
So
did you
I
do to lose it all?
so here's the thing. The issue with day trading is that you have to know how to take profits relentlessly, and you have to know how to cut losses quickly. So what happened is I had a big pop. I'm excited. I'm like, man, I just took 2 grand. I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire now. I don't need to go to school. I was in nursing school at this time. Believe it or not, I was in college. I went to school for nursing. I'm in the back of the class laughing. Everybody's looking back at me during the lecture, like, why is this guy laughing in the back of the class? Is because I'm like, I'm gonna drop out of this thing. I already
Yeah.
about to make millions. So ended up the stock ended up it was supposed to be a reverse merger. The merger never happened. So reverse merger is pumping based on the filings that this reverse merger is about to happen. Reverse merger gets canceled and it goes all down to
Oof.
crap. And I'm holding it like, oh, maybe it's gonna bounce again. Maybe it went from 30,000, 28, 27, 20. I'm like, oh, it's gonna go back up. Don't worry.
So
Didn't.
you should have.
Now
So
I'm
so
like,
like if you were
wow,
like giving
okay.
advice to your younger self, like just beginning day trading, like yes, you picked the right stock, but
Hmm.
you didn't sell fast enough
Hmm.
once you saw that it was going down because you didn't know, man. You had no experience. You had no clue that it was going to go down to like what, like zero or something.
Well, the thing is that if I could talk to my younger self today, I would tell myself, hey man, cut losses quickly, take profits relentlessly, right? If you're a day trader, I was I couldn't consider myself a day trader. I just invested at the time. Did some research on some companies that I thought would be fantastic. Ended up getting a nice two, three, 400, 500% from it. But I didn't take the profits and then build on top of that. Like instead of taking the 20,000 or 28,000 or cutting my losses, taking some profit, and then using that to now build 5 or 6 positions, I was all in
Oh, you
one.
put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. So the money that I put all my money into made me 30K, but then it all went down because I was betting
Now,
on it
when did you
going back up.
sell? When did
So
you
the number
sell
one
though?
thing that
Like
I
at
always
what
tell,
dollar point were you like, all right, fuck this, like gotta sell now?
I probably sold it when it got to like maybe
Okay, so you
five
made a little
grand.
bit. You made $3,000.
Made $3,000. Ended up trying to replicate that same
Oh,
success. Right,
oh
revenge trading
shit.
is what I call it. Where you say, "Hey man, dang man, I just made 30. I can do it again. Let me apply the same strategy that I did. I'm gonna go all in, and I'm gonna go and try to make 50 grand this time because I've seen other stocks do it. And then I just ended up going from 5 grand to 4 grand, 3 grand, 2 grand to the point. I wiped
So
my whole
what
account out.
what I'm hearing is you basically you thought you can like do research on new stocks and then pick a winner again, but the research you did, like, did you do enough homework? Like, how did you pick wrong? Like, why did you pick wrong stocks?
I'm gonna tell you why. The reason I picked wrong stocks is because I didn't do enough. I
Ooh,
didn't study enough. I went in under the mindset that, hey man, this is going to be a big industry, but I didn't study
the companies.
day trading, understanding the not even the companies, just what it takes to be a
Oh,
day trader. What are the rules? What are the principles? What are the things that you need to follow? Which is like what I can say today: cut losses quickly, take profits relentlessly. Right? What are the strategies that you need to follow? Hey man, you might have an RSI that's overbought. Maybe you might have a blow off top, candlestick patterns.
yeah, I still don't.
I didn't understand the basic principles. Yeah, yeah. So one thing that I understood was that okay, now I need to go study. So now I started buying courses, started reading, started actually studying, bought books, bought candlestick books, started studying Japanese patterns, started reading, and now I'm like, okay, man, hey man, this is I think I'm ready now. Ended up taking I think it was about 3 grand to about
What?
70 grand.
And wait, how old were you at this point? This was like,
Yeah,
was
I
this like
took three
right
grand.
after you had lost the money?
This had to no. This had to be like the
Okay, so one
following
year
year,
later, so you basically studied.
maybe
You basically
beginning of
studied for like a
2015.
whole year and learned as much as you could as you were
Mm-hmm,
probably still going to
mm-hmm,
school.
mm-hmm.
Good, good.
Still going to school. So now my dreams of being yeah yeah. So now my dreams of dropping out is like damn. So now I got another scholarship money because this is how I was funding my account was through
Shit.
scholarship money or financial aid. So I ended up getting like a whole scholarship, like 30K in scholarship money. I took like about 5 grand from that, and then I kind of brought it up. No, 3 grand from that, and I brought it up to about
Wow,
70.
dude, that's crazy. And
Right.
well, the one thing that I even heard you say, like, that is interesting to me, like you said, you bought books, right? And you were watching probably YouTube videos, and then
Mm-hmm.
then you bought courses. Like, you spent money on yourself
Right.
to actually learn all of these things, so you didn't have to make the mistakes yourself first. Fail yourself. You literally just learned off of other people's mistakes, and then what happened? You literally made what is that, like 1,000% like profit, off of that, like return on your investment, like 3,070 grand. That's a fucking massive ROI. So what did you think it was like worth it for you to do that and kind of take like shortcuts by doing it?
I think that it was absolutely worth it. I think that, and this goes out to anybody who's even considering day trading. I think that most people think that day trading is something that they're going to get rich quick, right? But it's just like I paid my tuition the first year that I lost all
Yeah,
my money, right? Just like you go to school, some people are paying 70, $150,000 to go to school. It takes you 4 to 6 years or even 8 years,
doctor.
depending
Yeah,
on the degree that you're acquiring. You're a doctor, you're a pharmacist, you're a CRNA. You have to pay your tuition. So I paid my tuition in blood, sweat, and tears, right? I had to fail. I had to fail forward. I had to learn. I had to execute. I had to read. And because of that, it allowed me to excel exponentially. So, yeah, even though I took 3 to 70, there's still more
oh
to
yeah.
learn because here's the thing with
So
stock
now
trading, right? There's different markets and
So
there's different
now, so
sectors.
now you took your, initial 2 grand, lost all that, right? Did it all again, made seventy thousand
Mm-hmm.
dollars. You're still a young kid at this point. What did you do
70,000.
then?
Now, here's the crazy part. You ready for this? I was literally mastering my market, right? Mastering my market is one thing that I always say to a lot of people who trade stocks or who ask me about trading stocks. You need to master a specific market, right? If you're an options trader, master options. I'm not a big fan of options. If you're a small cap trader, be a small cap trader. If you're a forex trader, be a forex trader. People who are small cap traders are probably not good options traders. People who are good options traders are not good small cap traders. People who are large cap traders, every day trader, if you ever get success in it, knows that you are a master in a
That's
specific
dude.
market. Here's
Before
what
you
I
say that,
did.
just what you say literally applies to any business. I don't care what the hell you're doing because I preach the exact same thing about niches
Hmm.
for real estate. You call it, pick a
Hmm.
market. It's same thing, niche, whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it. You're just focusing on one
right,
particular
right.
thing and mastering that, and then forgetting about all the other noise because you cannot
Hmm.
be a jack of all trades and a master of none and expect to get rich. It's never going to happen.
It's never. So just like how you broke it down, right? I ended up saying, let me go try to be an option trader now, right? I've kind of mastered this small cap market. I kind of know how to dominate it. Let me go be an
Yeesh.
options trader. Now, just like with you see,
I
you
already
said it
know where
right.
this is
I
going.
didn't. Now, the young me didn't know. The young me didn't know that at the time, right? So I'm like, man, everybody's killing it in options. Let me go learn it. So I go learn it. Not learn it. I go and attempt it. I had friends who were telling me I should do this option thing. I go and attempt it. And here's the thing with options: there's decay, there's theta, there's so many uh, principles and options that can allow the trade to actually go wrong without your knowledge, right? So I didn't know what theta is. I didn't know what the delta is. I didn't understand those things. So I bought an option. I'm like, why do I keep losing money? And then somebody's like, time decay. I'm like, what the hell is time decay? So the thing with options, I don't know if you ever traded it, is like, let's say you bought an option for like $5 at 8 o'clock in the morning. But if the option isn't going in the direction that you placed your call option, call is going up, put going down. By 9 o'clock, it'll be 480. By 10 o'clock, it'll be 450. By 11 o'clock, it might be $4. 12 o'clock, it might be two. So I'm like, I bought it for five. Why does the option price keep going down? And it's because of time decay. So I didn't understand what time decay is. I just put money in there. And now I'm like, what the hell? So I started losing money so fast. Boom, boom, boom.
These are all your profits. These are all your
Account went
profits
down
that you're
again.
playing with now.
All profits. All my account went down again. Boom.
How much you lost? All 70?
All
What?
70.
Oh my God, that's so
All 70.
crazy.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
well,
yeah. But but this is the true story of day trading that most people don't talk about, right? They always show you the glam and glory, but I'm telling you why niching in the market is so important. I was a master at small caps. I understood it. I knew how to read the filings. I knew how to trade the patterns. I understood what was momentum, what was going, what was the trend at the time. When I got to options, I didn't know what time decay was. I didn't know what theta was. I didn't know how the option chain, how to read it. I didn't understand. I was just following other people who said, "Hey, man, let's do this SPX futures and let's trade that $5." But they knew how to cut their losses, but I didn't. So lost
oof.
everything now, right? Boom. I said, "Wow, this is crazy." Ended up graduating from school a few years, maybe like a year and a half later. Now I'm studying. Now I'm studying again. I'm back. I'm reviewing. I'm saying, what happened? How did I end up here? And the one thing that stood out to me when I look back, it was I went into another market that I should have just stayed in the market I was dominating, and then just keep scaling. So all the people that was trading with me at that year went on and made millions. I wouldn't say millions, but six
A
hundred
lot. Yeah,
thousand.
a lot.
Another one of my
Yeah,
friends
top
made like
1% money.
1.5.
Yeah.
Now imagine now when you think about it, Andy, one of the most important things is that when you're building on top of 500,000 or $1 million every year, you're going to keep scaling if you stay in that
Yeah.
market because you understand it. So now I'm playing catch
Oh,
up. Now I start working and I start putting all of my money every after I pay all my expenses. I'll put one of my checks into my brokerage account. Now I'm just gonna be a small
ooh,
cap trader.
smart.
I went on and I took like 2 grand to 200. I went on and took like 2 grand and 250
Wait, wait, wait,
thousand.
wait, 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 wait. You took two
Ended up.
grand and then you made it $250,000.
Mhm,
How long?
quarter of a million,
How
yeah,
long did that take you?
quarter of a million. It didn't take me that long. It probably took me, and that's because I understood my market, right? I understood what made small caps move. It didn't take me that long. To be honest, I can't even give you a time frame, but it wasn't like
No.
it took me 3 years or 2 years. I probably made that in
Wow. So
about
you
a
made a
year, a
$250,000 and
year
then you were
tops.
working like a full-time job while you were doing this on the side, right?
I was working, but the beauty of nursing is that at the time, like I graduated, started doing ICU nursing, is that you had a 3 day
Oh,
work week, but you
oh,
worked 12 hours. So I had 4 days
shoot.
off. So I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then what ultimately would happen was that what everybody's saying, "Hey BJ, you want to go bowling? You want
Mm-mm.
to go party?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I can't. I'm working a weekend." They like, "You work every weekend," but I'm staying up 24 hours working night shift, right? 7 to 7. So 7 to 7 on a Sunday goes into Monday. So 7 p to 7 a. So Monday I'm drinking coffee, energy drinks. Once I'm on
Because that's,
Monday here,
that's
I'm on
that's
my
when the market
computer. I'm
opens.
reading. I'm studying. The market opens, so I'm up 24 hours. I'm exhausted. My eyes are bloodshot red, and I'm executing, taking advantage of the
That's
market
that's
cycle.
see, like that's what a lot of people miss because like what you did and I did the same thing, and every freaking successful entrepreneur can always tell you the
Mhm,
exact same thing. They just grinded
mhm,
nonstop.
mhm,
Like in the very beginning, like that's what you have to do. You got to work the 16 hours straight all day. Sometimes even in your case, 24 hours, not even
mhm.
sleep. You just did it until you succeeded,
Yeah.
and it's all about the time and effort that you put into it, right? You can't expect. Imagine you only put in a few hours a day. Like, do you think you would have made that much money? Probably not, right?
Absolutely not. No, 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 no way, no way. Absolutely not. So then going forward, ended up investing in a little bit of cryptocurrencies. I think Litecoin at that time. I think it was like $40. And this guy that I day trade stocks with, he was like, "We're doing a fantasy football room." He's like, "Hey man, you need a." The only way to pay for the room was Litecoin. He was like, he was in Bitcoin from a long time ago, kind of like in the early stages. He was like, "Man, you gotta start messing with some of these cryptocurrencies." I'm like, "Cryptocurrencies? I don't know nothing about it." I mean, I knew about it, but I could never buy it. It was always difficult
Yeah.
to purchase at the time. Coinbase wasn't
No.
as easy as it is now. So ended up investing a little bit in some Litecoin at the time. I think I was in Italy. I made money from day trading stocks. I went to Rome, and I was just buying it while I was there because he was like, "You
Yeah.
gotta buy, you gotta buy." I started buying it when it was like $40, and then it came
Oh,
to like
did you?
300. Sold half at 150, sold half at
Wow.
300, and I
Damn.
cashed
How
out
much
on
did you
that.
make off of
Yeah.
that?
hmm that one I think I made. I have to go back, but I know I made over a
Wow. And
hundred
that's
grand.
fast money too, right? Within a couple weeks, couple
I
months.
know that within a couple of
Wow.
weeks. Yep. And then here's the crazy part is what accelerated everything was now I had the skill set. I knew what I did wrong from the past, as far as from going into another niche like options trading or trying to be a large cap trader or trying to be a forex trader. Ended up 2020 came around, COVID lockdown hit, right? I guess the government sent out a whole bunch of stimulus checks. There was just everybody was at home, and there was just an
Yeah.
influx of
They
cash,
screwed the economy there.
kind of just being in. They kind of been it was just influx of cash just
Yeah.
injecting into the market. Now imagine you have all these new traders coming in the market. And now you're the veteran trader who knows that this won't
Oh.
last forever, right? So now you get aggressive. It's just like real estate, right? If properties go down to 2% and you have cash, you're
As much as you
aggressively
can.
buying a lot
Yeah.
of these things up, right? So it's the same thing. Now I have a good amount of years. I mean, I've been doing this since 2014. It's 2020 now. I'm seeing the dollar volume. I'm comparing the volume from the previous years of dollar volume, and it's up in the billions in
Whoa.
small caps, like greater than what it
Whoa.
was in the previous years. And I'm like, man, this is something different is happening. And you had AMC going, you had GME, you had all these short squeezes, and everybody was holding to the end of time. Remember my story in the beginning, what I said? I held it all the way up, thinking it was gonna just go up forever, and then I held it all the way down. So all these things that was going up, I was like, oh hell no, I already know exactly what's gonna happen. I was just selling aggressively, selling. I'll buy large positions and I'll sell aggressively as they went up, and I just took full
That was in
fledged advantage of that.
2020.
And then I went ahead and I made one.
20,
This 2020 now, I
so,
made
so you made
1.5 that year.
1.5 mil because all your, past like what, 7, 8 years of experience doing this and everything, you were like, okay, I understand what goes up must come down. And you basically timed it. I mean, you
Exactly.
probably, listen, you probably didn't hit, the peak of it. But you probably got it pretty damn close to the peak of it. Then you just sold. And then, all right,
Yeah.
so what happened then after that year? You made $1.5 million. And then your next year after that in 2021, because I know you told, we're buddies, so I know you told me this. How much did you make the year after that?
Yeah. Yeah. 5.3 or
5.5
5.5
million
million.
dollars.
Yeah.
Guys, in the very beginning when I introduced
Yeah.
BJ, I said, hey, he made $8 million in the last 3 years. And that's true because in 2020, he made 1.5 million. In 2021, he made 5 million. And then the year after that, he made the difference, whatever it is, a million and a half, again. Okay.
Yeah.
So like that's his whole,
hmm
point
hmm
is he got really, really good at one particular thing. He played around with, messing around with this and that didn't really work because he didn't put in the time and effort, didn't study enough for it, and he didn't know what he was doing. So
Exactly.
then he
Exactly.
actually went all in on the thing he mastered and he became rich off of that. Literally, he made $8 million in the last 3 years off of trading
Yeah.
stocks and doing the market that he knew best, right? Is that accurate to say?
hmm That's absolutely accurate. Yes. One thing that I'll give anybody advice who's doing any type of business, any type of day trading, or anything that you want to get into is focus on one market and niche down. Right. Just focus on that and don't try to be the master of all. The stock market is very big. There's a huge learning curve in this business, and I think that one of the things that people do a disservice is they give you this feel like, hey, you're going to get rich quick. It's going to take you. You're going to have to know how it feels to have a big loss, and sometimes you got to know how it feels and be able to go to sleep. You got to know how it feels to be down 200 grand and still be able to eat dinner with your family. You got to know how it feels to the trade that you're hoping for, the merger that you're dreaming that would change your life doesn't happen. And these are factors that happen in the market every day. And then when people lose, they get a bad taste. Like, hey man, the market it's fake. I'll never trade stocks again. I'm down 20. But the thing is, you got to keep going forward. You got to keep pushing. Like if somebody else can do it, you definitely can. But you got to put the blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it can take a couple of years to build up to that point where you get the level of experience where you're damn near an expert in your own field.
Dude, that's absolutely, yeah, dude,
Make
that's
sense?
absolutely incredible. Like that's super motivational too. And listen, I would love to pick your brain all day. I got
Mm-hmm.
a mastermind that you're gonna be coming to too. I got to start prepping for that. Yeah. So listen,
Yeah.
guys, if you're watching this right now, drop a comment below if you want me to do a round two with BJ, because there's a ton of details that he has not even told yet, like how he actually made the 5 million in 2021. Like, I'm sure he has a ton of stories about that and a ton of in-depth details. So drop a comment below if you want me to have him back on again, pick his brain about how he actually did that. But BJ, thank you so much for coming on. If we get enough likes and enough comments, man, we'll do a part two. So thank you again, man. And everybody else who watched the video, hit the like button, okay? And subscribe to my channel because 75% of you are not subscribed. So what the hell are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch everybody in the next one.